Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to this channel, obviously subscribe down below with your notification bells turned on. I mean, turn the bell on, honestly, to get the latest, to be the latest to be updated, to be the first person to be updated when I upload a video. And yeah, and make sure to smash the like button down below as well. So, I'll be pumping out these contents because, I love making YouTube videos. I'm an internet personality and all of that. But basically in this video, essentially what we're going to be covering is that this sort of phenomena of like the simp. I'm not sure you've heard of it before, but it's like this culture, and it's mainly gravitated towards men rather than women, although some women could be simps. But simp essentially means sucker, idolizing mediocre pussy. So unless you're lesbian, then you idolize mediocre pussy, or you're a man, then straight man, of course, idolizing mediocre pussy. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but I think let's get to the video essentially. So a simp, as I've mentioned, is a sucker idolizing mediocre pussy. And as men, society is ingrained this in our head, and it's deeply ingrained in our psyche that women are just above us men, and we need to do everything to impress a woman. Like essentially we need to break our backs for women, we need to crawl for women, we need to do every single thing for women and all of that. But I've actually noticed that being like a high value man, or considering myself as a high value man, like a very confident person as well, I've noticed that we need to flip this over and actually change the narrative. And it's that men, I'm not saying above women, but because this world is created in a certain way that men are responsible for most of the creativity in this world. So the high levels of conscientiousness in this world are basically done by men. So if we're responsible for building, creating, and making this world what it is right now, why isn't that we're the ones that women should be pedestalizing? So putting on a pedestal, basically, it's like a phrase, basically when someone is above you, essentially, rather than us putting women on a pedestal because they've got tits, vagina, and ass. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, does it? And I think as men, we need to flip that narrative and become as high value as possible, where instead of us chasing after women, women should be chasing after us for our validation, because we are essentially testosterone driven. We create, we're responsible for building, drive, and all of that. And these are all personality traits that women are attracted to anyway. But because of this modern day, should I say modern day, present day mainstream feminist movement going on in the world, and it's that women are very, so this mainstream feminist movement going on, which essentially affects mostly the white community, but with the black community in America and Britain as well, is affected really well. When you hear ladies like Cardi B saying that I don't cook, I don't clean, and that a man should basically do anything necessary to get that wet ass pussy. Like that's really bad though, to be honest, because now look at Offset, for example. He's just with Cardi B spending as much money. He's just splashing so much money for Cardi B, who's like just decent looking. She's a stripper. Like, worst thing you could do is date a stripper. And that's just lowering your value as a man. Your value is essentially what society judges you as a man. If you're like well dressed, you speak well, you're very informed and educated, you're very confident, society sees you as this high value person, and then society in turn is going to treat you really well. But if you're someone who's badly dressed, you're one of those people, if someone asks you a question, I don't know, that's the answer. You're not very knowledgeable in anything, you're not confident, society is going to treat you really bad, women are going to treat you really bad, you're going to be low value, which means that when it comes to the dating game, there's going to be less women available for you to date, because women in general are people who date across or higher up the socio-economic dominance hierarchy, which means that women tend to be with men of equal socio or economic status than them, or men who have higher finances and status than themselves than the women, whereas men, we tend to date across or below the socio-economic dominance hierarchy, which on the other hand, on the contrary, means that it doesn't really matter how much money or how intelligent a woman is. We could be wealthy as hell and be in a relationship with a woman that works in McDonald's, but a wealthy woman can never be in a relationship with a man that works in McDonald's. Do you see the difference? Hope that makes perfect sense to you anyway. WAP culture has basically popularized this sort of feminist movement going on, but it took it to another level, the mainstream feminism going on, and essentially took it to a higher level than it was intended. And now black women are all like very masculine, even some white women as well, very masculine, and they're just undateable, to be honest. Like, obviously you want a feminine woman as a man. We want to be in a relationship with feminine women who are willing to like cook and clean and all of that for us whilst we go out to work. But if they want to work as well, they can do whatever they want to do. But I'm speaking from what I want and what most men want but aren't willing to say. So I'm basically speaking for most men, because most men want a feminine woman. Like, that's the reality, just like most women want a masculine man. So why is it that being masculine is seen as toxic? It doesn't really make sense to me personally. Like, it doesn't make sense. And yeah, basically I'm going out of topic, but what I'm saying is they're trying to do this thing where they're creating the simp, right? The simp, what we're talking about, the sucker that idolizes this mediocre pussy. But women still complain at the same time that there's not many men out there for them, if that makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. They're wondering where are all the like real good men when they have created the simp, when society has created the simp to see women as being above them. When women aren't above us, but the opposite is true. Obviously, I'm getting too passionate about this topic because it means a lot to me, because I actually care about you watching right now, if you're a man and a woman as well, because most women don't want to be with sims, you know what I mean? So most men as well want to be with a very feminine woman rather than a fucking sim, if that makes sense. So, okay, I got that wrong. So most men want to be with a feminine woman rather than a masculine woman, and most women want to be with a masculine man rather than a feminine man. So a sim symbolizes a feminine woman, if that makes sense, and women don't want that kind of guy, but they on the other hand want to create that kind of guy just to keep society going in their favor. But in the long run, that's going to affect, it's going to be detriment to women rather than being an upside for them, to be honest. So yeah, and this is one advice for you lot guys, yeah, coming from someone who's probably older than you. I'm about to die, I'm 79. 79 years old. Coming from someone who's probably, fucking focus mate, you fucking prick. Coming from someone who's older than you, I'm gonna give you, I don't know mate, I might be older than you or not mate, I'm just a young black man, you know, that's all I am. Like, if you could take an advice from me, go ahead, do it. But like, my best advice would be the best version of yourself. Strive to be the best version of yourself. Learn, read books, dress well, spend money on really nice fitting clothes and all of that to boost your value in society and be high status. Be knowledgeable, where you can start conversation with a woman and speak to a woman without trying to, you know, just talk about, you know, without trying to create this atmosphere of like just wanting to have sex and all of that. You can just talk about things in general in life, you know what I mean, things you've learned from a book. And my favorite book at the moment is Natives and Race by Akala, In the Ruins of Empire. You need to read that book, and you need to read 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson as well. It opens up topics for discussion, and this is going to help you in the long run as a man, being knowledgeable, boosting your status, and being obviously, you know, hygienic, very hygienic, smelling really well, rather than being a pig. Okay, okay. I shouldn't say that to you, like, because you're like their favorite people in the world. But you know what? You know where I'm coming from. Dressing well, smelling well, and all of that good stuff. that's gonna help you in the long run rather than affect you, if that makes sense. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, make sure obviously smash the like button down below, comment and subscribe with your notification bells turned on, and let's keep the comment sections interactive as we are building this family on YouTube. It's the best family in YouTube, and that's just 100% without a doubt. And the moral of this video is just be the best person you could be. And you know, when you imagine the best version of yourself, what you see, if it means going to the gym and working hard and becoming the highest value man as possible, be that person. Read books and acquire knowledge. It's very important. It's very imperative to acquire knowledge and all of that. And you know, take supplements and do skincare to look as best as you can. And you know, as I've mentioned, the most important thing, working out, acquiring knowledge and taking care of yourself. Eat well and be the best version of yourself rather than chasing after women. So when you're that, then the women are going to come, rather than being like this simp, sucker, idolizing mediocre pussy, which means that women aren't going to be attracted to you. So you know what I mean? Be the best version of yourself. And until next time, watch this, yeah. How quickly can you do that?